Alright, so we have open workout 23.2, which is 5 burpee pull-ups, 10 shuttle runs every round. Increase the burpee pull-ups by 5 reps for 15 minutes. Then in the next 5 minutes, establish a 1 rep max thruster. So I've had a little bit more sleep and a little bit more food compared to last week. So for those that didn't see my previous video, my wife gave birth on the Sunday, and they stayed in the hospital a couple extra days, which meant that I was traveling back and forth from the hospital, not sleeping, not eating. Tried to do the first workout, but just hit a wall very early, but still happy that I did it. Got it done, not within the time frame, so didn't get to log a score, but still happy to get it done. So even though I was feeling significantly better than last week, still not feeling great, and wasn't expecting much out of this workout. So strategy for this one, for me personally, basically just cruise on the shuttle runs and be super consistent with the burpees or burpee pull-ups. So try and keep the movement exactly the same from start to finish. What I found in the first 20 reps or the first 2 rounds, my timing was a little bit off, and I felt I was rushing the burpee pull-ups. Not that I was going fast, just sort of rushing it. It wasn't until the 3rd round or the set of 15, where I sort of got into a rhythm, so to speak. So didn't start off great. Nothing that was going to set me back within the workout itself. So it was just trying to get settled in the workout a lot quicker if I was to do this again. So I'm doing a sort of a jump into the strict pull-up. It is a faster way of doing the burpee pull-ups. So for those people that can't do strict and have to kip, your reps will be about 3 times as long as someone who's doing a strict, especially if you're jumping quite high and sort of missing the first half of the pull. Because with the kipping, you got to jump, you hang, you do the kip portion of it, you come back, pull, chin above the bar, and then back down. So it is significantly longer, but if you don't have the skill or the strength to be able to do the strict version, obviously kipping is fine. I just gonna have to push just that little bit harder to keep up with people that are doing the strict version of it. So with the shuttle runs, so again, I just mentioned that I was just going to keep them super chilled, not push the pace for them, just try and keep moving. I had played around with shuttle runs quite recently, and for a little bit I've done a significant amount of them. What I find, I don't know if it's just me, but my posterior chain just gets lit up from those just leaning over and touching the ground. So I made sure that I alternated each hand that I touched the ground with, just to try and manage that fatigue. Again, I am coming off a hamstring injury, so my posterior chain is quite weak, so it could be that. But yeah, they haven't really gotten any better since I've been doing them. So I had to keep that in mind as well. So I was super focused on making sure that, again, every turnaround I had changed each side. So again, this is where I started to sort of find my rhythm and pace. So slightly different. So with the first 2 sets, you notice I was jumping up straight out of the burpee, which requires a little bit more pressing, so the chest and the triceps. I was very conscious of that, and that's why I went to the step up sort of burpee version. So you're saving your pressing a little bit more. and also just keeps you in rhythm, allows you to concentrate on your breathing. I find, me personally, there is no reason to stop on the burpee or the pull-up part of it. I can always do a burpee and can always do a pull-up, so I don't need to sort of take a break. Well, I shouldn't need to take a break on the burpee pull-up portion of it. However, where I was trying to sort of catch my breath was on the shuttle runs. So my shuttle runs are not fast. Part of that is by choice, part of that is the lack of sleep, part of that is the lack of energy, but it was a decision to go a little bit slower on the shuttle runs there. Something that I was making sure of too, coming down off the last pull-up, making sure that I took a step back so both feet were behind the line before I took off from my shuttle run, which I found just a small thing. You don't want to get a no rep on the shuttle runs. So if you sort of land on after your last sort of burpee pull-up with your feet in front of the line, I'm pretty sure that's a no rep. So I was very conscious of that. In regards to intention for this one, I really did not have an intention for it. Like I said, my open this year is significantly different to any other year. Other years I try and qualify for the next round and all that type of thing. It was already going to be different because I was coming back from an injury and wasn't in the right shape or condition to try and push through to the next round, but also wife having a baby early definitely threw a spanner in the works. So again, this is more for me, but definitely I'll get to enter a score for this one as I'm doing it within the time frame. So again, back to the burpee pull-ups. My intention was to keep them the same, so I wanted them to be look the same from the first to the last. However, on those first few sets, like I mentioned a couple of times, I was rushing, so I did definitely slow down. My burpee pull-ups did slow down, but they hopefully look the same. This is again my first time watching this through after doing the workout. I did notice that I was doing a little bit of a kip within the pull-up, especially towards the later rounds. Looks like I kicked in a little bit earlier than I thought, so semi-strict, but still sort of no wasted movement with a kip or anything like that, and still momentum still carrying up, so getting the chin clearly above the bar each rep. So at this point, I was waiting for that, for me to hit the wall. I knew it was going to come. I wasn't sure where, but I, again, just maintained a nice pace. Sort of go with that sort of step up. So bringing the left foot forward. Just takes a little bit of pressure off the pecs, shoulders and triceps. I was conscious of the thruster coming up, obviously. I didn't think it was going to have a dramatic effect, but you definitely don't want to be going into a heavy thruster with fatigue in the shoulders and the triceps, because obviously that's your lockout, or you're pressing in your lockout. So this is where my shuttle run significantly slowed down. Still tried to keep moving as much as possible, leaning over quite a long way as I'm coming up from touching the ground, which is not ideal or efficient for that matter. Putting a lot more pressure on that lower back and the hamstrings. So you want to sort of pop up your chest as quick as you possibly can. to get upright. It is only a short distance, but you still want to get that chest up quick. Actually moving a little bit faster than I thought. I was at points it felt like I was sort of crawling. That's how slow I felt like I was going, but moving. I'm not moving fast by any means, but still moving. Still getting those reps in. And was able to manage to go straight into the burpees. At no point, I believe, I took extended rests, other than just being super slow on the runs, which is how I sort of planned it out to be. So for those that haven't watched any of my videos, I'm very conscious of transitions and things like that, so making sure that fast transitions from one movement to the next is one way of saving time within workouts. I felt I managed that a lot better than in previous workouts on this particular workout. Just meant that I had to slow the shuttle runs down, which I was more than happy to do. The heart rate was probably higher after the burpees on the shuttle runs, and then the shuttle runs I was able to bring it down a little bit. So heading up to the 12-minute mark. So I believe this is in the round of 20s. So the burpee pull-ups are looking a little bit slower, but still moving. I did have a few pauses whilst in the bottom of the burpee, but nothing significant from memory. So we'll obviously see, but nothing I can remember where I was taking like 5 to 10 seconds just to pause. So one like that, into that pull-up. So again, jumping quite high. If you notice where my arms are, so they're not quite at 90 degrees, but they're relatively bent. So it's just that final little pull. So more jumping, rather than jumping and then having arms straight and then doing a strict. This is a little bit faster. Still taxing because you still got to jump, but I was able to. I think that's what saved me on this particular workout. So regardless of how tired or the lack of energy that I had, the pull-ups, sort of the speed at which I was able to maintain those pull-ups, is what sort of got me as far as I did, I believe. Definitely wasn't a shuttle run, that's for sure. This might be actually the round of 25. Yeah, I think this is the round of 25. For sure. Right, so you notice these last few reps, you'll notice that my technique changes. So I'm now sort of jumping with the split legs. That's just mental fatigue. That's all that is. Not ideal. Ideally, I want to be doing exactly the same as I was doing on the last round or previous round. So into the shuttle runs, we've got 60 seconds left. To be quite honest, I had no interest in finishing these shuttle runs. At this point, I'm thinking of the thruster, but I didn't want to stop because obviously every rep counts towards your score. So just took my time. I definitely wanted to get 5 shuttle runs. I ended up with 6, I believe. So I probably had time for another one, but didn't want it. So I stopped. I think it was about 12 seconds to go, give or take. So I'll get this one and finish that one, walk across the line. say no thank you. So first lift is 75 kilo. So I did a previous comp just before the Open started, and in that comp there were 2 Olympic lifts build to a max. My game plan for those was just to do 1 lift, mainly because, again, I wasn't feeling super amazing with the Olympic lifts. I hadn't done the training. Here I was willing to push it a little bit harder. Had planned 3 attempts, so 75, 80 and then 85. Haven't done a 85 kilo thruster in what feels like about 4,000 years, but was quite confident that I was able to hit it. In the warm-up, only went to 80 kilo, I believe, and 80 kilo felt good enough that I knew that 85 was going to go up. So at this point here, just trying to bring the heart rate down, catch the breath. Wasn't feeling any fatigue or anything like that. I knew I had to really drive out of the bottom of the squat to get that bar up off the chest, and then just finish off with the lockout overhead. So that's what that is. Hitting the legs is just a reminder to drive that bar up. So 75 felt really good, just to get a nice easy one on the board there. We got up to 80 kilo. Again, I think I waited 90 seconds before I hit the first one. And I think I go relatively quickly. I'm pretty sure I go like 17:20, maybe 17:30 or something like that. Here, just taking a big breath in. I do on this rep and the last do get a little bit lightheaded out of the bottom of the thruster, so I just wanted to, and that's something that happens to me quite often. Get lightheadedness from especially when you haven't lifted a moderate weight for a significant amount of time. Just plays with the blood pressure a bit. A little bit wobbly there. Again, this is 80 kilo. Still felt pretty good. Again, that there is blood pressure. Just go a little bit black. I can't see anything, so just go to the knees. It's a shorter distance to fall in. Again, this is 85 kilo, and I believe I take my sweet ass time on this one. I think I take the lift at like 1930 or 1940 or something. I knew this was going to be my first lift, whether I was successful at it or not. So I was going to make sure that I felt good enough to make sure that I get it on the final attempt. So that's why I didn't worry about trying to rush that final lift. Alright, so starting to think about the lift now. Take a few big deep breaths. Remember to drive through your legs. And all done. So I was quite happy considering how I felt with the part A and haven't hit an 85 kilo thruster in 1,000 years, so can't complain at all. Very much looking forward to the final workout.